Hello everyone, how you doing? So let's go straight into it. So today I'll just be talking about different transfer rumors, that have been making the rounds. Chelsea have been linked with several players. We're heading towards January, so this is the time for transfer rumors to start making the rounds and for the club, for not just Chelsea, but different clubs all around Europe to be, linked to players to be linked to several players. So Viktor Gyokeres for me, yeah, I think he's better than Jackson. Obviously, the goals speak for themselves. He starts, just crazy the amount of goals he scored, and it's funny to think that he couldn't make it at Brighton, went to Coventry, and then he moved on to Sporting Lisbon, where he's made a name for himself, been scoring goals and also been scoring goals on the international scene as well. So he seems to score goals each game he plays. So that's fantastic for him. And he's a fantastic striker, so it's not something I would particularly sneeze at if Chelsea were to actually step up, their links, step up talks and negotiations, and eventually bring him to Stamford Bridge. Not something I would frown at particularly myself, but for me, I think because the demands of the Premier League and what you want from your striker in the Premier League and for Chelsea, I think Victor Seaman is the better choice in my opinion. Now, Victor, you're correct. Like I said, he's a wonderful striker. He's scoring lots of goals, both in Lisbon and for Sweden. But for me, Victor Seaman is the complete package. In my opinion, he's got goals, he's got power, he's got strength, he's got that crazy mentality in a good way, that warrior spirit that we've seen in the likes of DJ Drogba, we've seen in the likes of Diego Costa, and those are the strikers that really, really made it, for Chelsea. And most of the goals I've seen Victor Gyokeres score, are goals that are scored on transition, which is good, which is great, and that's something Jackson has been improving on. So for me, you can call him a more refined Nicholas Jackson, in my opinion. But I think for me, Victor Seaman is just head and shoulder. Not, I think he's better. He's just better than Victor Gyokeres, in my opinion. He's got the goals right now. He's the third leading scorer for the Super Eagles, and he's done that in fewer games than every other person. And look at what he's doing for Galatasaray as well, both in Europe and in the Turkish league. So for me, Victor Osimhen would be someone I would rather prefer, than Victor Gyokeres. But if the Victor Osimhen deal becomes a bit tentative or sorry unattainable, then Victor Gyokeres wouldn't be bad to get, or Isak wouldn't be bad to get. I know a lot of people have been clinging on to, or rather latching on to Victor Osimhen's interview where he's saying he wants to sit at Galatasaray until the end of the season. People that say, "Oh, that means he'll move in January." No, I think right now he's learning. He's learning. He's learning because there are different aspects to being, a top world class superstar player. Now there's a talent aspect. He ticks that box, scoring goals for club and country. Putting in the shift, being a good teammate, being a leader on and off the pitch for your club side, for your nation, which it is, both for Galatasaray and for Chelsea. So he ticks those boxes, but there's somewhere he needs to improve, and he's showing that he's improving in that area, and that is how you talk to the press. Because whatever you say to the press is, the press room or that interviewer you're sitting before, whether it's with a podcast or it's for CBS or ESPN or any of the likes, or maybe for a YouTube channel like mine, you know, it doesn't remain there because people watch these channels and watch these streams. The representative of the clubs you're at, they watch this, and then sometimes they feel you're affecting, your value in the market, and by extension, the money or resources or income that they would or may get. But and that happened, when he had an interview with CBS. I think that he said he knew where he was going to. So I think that was one aspect as well, where sort of things took the wrong turn, and things became whole lot more difficult. So you just say, "Oh, I want to stay with the club, till the end," and then by January, if Chelsea are serious, they can sort things out. In my opinion, get it done. Because I think Napoli inserted an additional year in his contract, and what he gave up for that, or in his what he gave that in lieu of or in exchange for was a reduced buyout clause. So I think it was about 65 million euros or something like that, or something within that region, 65 between 65 and 80 million euros. So you can see that is way less than the previous £100 million buyout clause, which for me I felt that was not enough to say or enough reason for clubs not to be interested in him. I just felt like it was the entire narrative around the player instigated by Napoli, in my opinion. So for me, Victor Osimhen would be a better buy, in my opinion, than Viktor Gyokeres. Although, as I said, if it's impossible to get Viktor Gyokeres, to get Victor Osimhen, maybe he feels the breach the bond with the way negotiations went. Then I say, okay, you look for someone else. But if it's just as John Obi Mikel said, on his podcast, the Obi-Wan podcast, that Victor Osimhen was close to joining Chelsea. It was a question of time and things like that. So maybe if you still have that cordial relationship, between Chelsea and Victor Osimhen's camp, I would say go for him as opposed to Viktor Gyokeres, because I think he's just better. And now, Rayan Cherki. For me, Rayan Cherki is an interesting one. I was all for Chelsea getting him last season, last transfer window, before Cole Palmer was signed, not this summer, the previous summer before Cole Palmer was signed. I was saying Rayan Cherki is a guy because he's a magical player. I think he's as close as you would get to Eden Hazard in terms of talent-wise, but in actual reputation or status, he has to prove it on the pitch. He's been doing his best for the 21s. He's been showing sparks for Lyon, and I think is someone that can come to Chelsea, and maybe it's in a position where Chelsea can take advantage, especially with Lyon, because I think Lyon, they've been served up, a provisional relegation, suspended relegation. So, and they'll be given sort of a time limit or a deadline to pay up fees that they owe. So if they are unable to meet those fees, those payments on the dates that have been stipulated, then they'll be relegated to Ligue 2. And I think so that would mean they're open to selling some key assets, some key players on their team to be able to raise the required funds. So for me, I think maybe that's something Chelsea could take advantage of to get Rayan Cherki. But there's a big but here, and that is Enzo Maresca willing or looking to revert to the formation that got a lot of people excited, including myself, which is to play with 2 10s? Is he looking to go back to that? So if he's looking to go back to that, then spots will automatically open up, and that means you have 2 spots behind the striker. So it would be either a Cole Palmer and a Rayan Cherki, for instance, or a Cole Palmer and a Nkunku, for instance, or a Cole Palmer and a João Felix, for instance. Or in some games, it could be João Felix and Rayan Cherki, or Rayan Cherki and Nkunku, and things like that. But if Enzo Maresca is not looking to switch up his formation, is not looking to, play with 2 10s or 2 8s, then that'll be an issue, because you don't want to have all these people, on the bench, all these quality players sitting on the bench and not being able to play. And we all know, we can say we have our team B, we have our team A, our team B and our team A, but players know the league is the bread and butter. That's where you prove your mettle. That's where you show the world the quality of player you are. That's where everyone really wants to play in the Premier, either the Premier League or the Serie A. Cup games are good, Conference League is good, but those are the games you want to really play as a player that you're itching to play. So Rayan Cherki, if he comes in, if he's signed, because I think it's a deal that can be done, about £20 million or thereabout. But I think Lyon will be looking to sell key assets, like I said, due to the fact that they're in a tough spot at the minute. So Rayan Cherki, talent-wise, yes, I'll take him anytime, any day, and twice on a Sunday. But in terms of game time and squad harmony, that's the problem. Game time. That's the issue. I don't have these people keep saying he has character issues. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. They say the same thing about Eden Hazard, who he has character issues. He doesn't play for the team. I'm like, stop it. Stop it. Stop spreading rumors, stop spreading untruths. So Ryan Cherki for me would be a player that I would want, Chelsea to get, especially if Enzo Maresca would be switching up, to playing with two tenths. And then again, there's the issue of Christian Nkunku. At the minute, he may not say it, but definitely he would be feeling it, which is right now he's playing mainly the Conference League games and then maybe cup games, but not really giving a look in the Premier League games. Because against Arsenal, Nicholas Jackson was more or less missing, was more or less missing that game. But Nkunku wasn't given enough game time. He was brought in with like 3 minutes to go regulation time. And so that meant maybe give or take Nkunku plays like 6 minutes, and that's not good enough for a player of his caliber. So maybe thinking about considering his future to leave, Chelsea. And if he's indeed considering his future at Chelsea, then that would then open up the room for, the likes of Ryan Cherki, to sign the likes of Ryan Cherki. But then again, you have your João Felix there as well. So that's the question. Would Enzo Maresca be open to switching up his formation and then creating that room for those players? Those two tens, and then again you have the issue, not an issue, but you have Esther very willing, and from the reports I've seen, I've read, they're looking at Esther very willing as a 10. So if you're looking at Esther very willing as a 10, that means he and Palmer are the two tens, and then where does that leave Ryan Cherki? So that's the question. But then again, we've seen Chelsea do the opportunistic deals where they sign a player, who's available for maybe 10 million pounds or 50 million pounds, just low market value. And they look at it and say, okay, we can sign this player for 10 million pounds, and then we could look to flip the player on in like 2 seasons for maybe 30 million pounds, and we've made a profit of 20 million pounds. So maybe that could be a reasoning or a rationale as well, for the services of Ryan Cherki. Now there's the Jonathan Tah business as well, so let's say according to Cut Offside, Chelsea are in active negotiation with Jonathan Tah and are believed to be favorites to sign him this summer. So for me, Jonathan Tah is an excellent defender, of course, part of the Bayer Leverkusen team that were the Invincibles. Yeah, they were the Invincibles in the German Bundesliga, and they're currently the defending champions. They're currently Bundesliga champions. So, and it was a key part of that team. So Jonathan Tah, anytime, any day, I would have him. At least have him over Badiashile and Disasi, because there have been rumors about Badiashile heading to, Juventus. Juventus looking to sign him, and for me, I say if it was possible, I would pay his flight ticket. If it wasn't possible, I would pay his flight ticket. He needs to leave, not just for the peace of mind of the fans, because he's not been great, but for himself as well, because I think he's a confident player, and his confidence has been shattered, in my opinion. I think his confidence has completely been shattered, by the Shield. So I think it's time for him to leave, and maybe the slower pace of the Serie A could work to his advantage. But because right now, no, but the Shield isn't doing it. So for me, Jonathan Tah, yes, I would have Jonathan Tah over, by the Shield. But for me as well, Thomas Arujo is another option that should be looked at as well. Antonio Silva is another option that should be looked at as well. Because if you want to play this high line business where you have your central defender standing right, at the top of the midfield, just standing right there with tons of space behind them, you need electric defenders. You need electric centre backs. By that I mean you need pacey centre backs. And Thomas Arojo is pacey. Antonio Silva is also pacey as well. Should be looking at those sort of players, in my opinion. But Badiashile, yeah, good. I'm good with him leaving. I'm good with him leaving because I think his confidence is gone. Each time he plays, you see it. Once he makes one mistake, he's gone for the game. I think he should go. Every player you sign that stays the length of their contract, obviously. So I think Badiashile, I'm okay with him going. and then I'm okay with Jonathan Tah being signed as well. But I would like a defender that is actually very fast, especially if Enzo Maresca continues with his high line, that he's playing. But for me, but the shield just isn't cutting it, and as well, Disasi isn't cutting it. So it all boils down to what Enzo Maresca chooses to do. Because if Enzo Maresca is still holding on to sometimes playing centre backs at full back position, something I don't like. For me, I feel every player should be played in their best position, and that is where you judge them how good or how bad they are. So, but Enzo Maresca, obviously, he's the head coach, so he plays players in the place he wants them to play. I would much rather prefer a centre back that at least can match up athletically in the right back or left back spot. And I think Thomas Arojo, Antonio Silva can match up athletically in terms of being able to match wingers for pace, but in terms of actually defending as a centre back, at full back, is to be a challenge, but at least can match, the pace of wingers in the Premier League, down either side of Chelsea's defense. And now back to Viktor Gyokeres. What are your thoughts and opinions on Viktor Gyokeres? Is it someone you want to see Chelsea sign, or do you have other striking options in mind, or would you even prefer Nicholas Jackson? For me, I would say Nicholas Jackson has improved because there are chances that he used to miss, that he no longer misses, which is all the true passes. Last season, he used to miss a lot of them, but now, through and goal, he picks a spot, he scores. But his movement in the box is non existent. It's not even bad. When you say it's bad, then that means at least it's there. So just like if you say, oh, is your car bad? Let's say you have a bad car, and the car is bad, but possibly you can still see it in the driveway. You can still see it, in the garage, but it's bad. But for me, because Jackson's movement in the box for a number 9 is non-existent. So Chelsea needs that option because it does a number of things for the midfield, for the team entirely, which is someone is there that can win headers in the box, that can score goals in the box with crosses coming in, that can match the physicality of defenders. You're going to have more crosses coming in. You're going to have more balls being played early. You're going to have more balls being played, to players. Jackson's hold-up play, it's not quite there yet. He can spin his man and turn, but hold-up play to hold the ball up and bring players in, that's still a challenge for me in terms of from a standpoint of Nicholas Jackson. So, and if you've been watching this channel, if you subscribe to the channel, like I said, subscribe to this channel. If you've been watching the videos on here, Victor Osimhen is my absolute number 1 choice for the striking role at Chelsea. Now, some people say, oh, because he's Nigerian. Oh, being Nigerian is a plus, but he's actually a phenomenal striker, a world-class striker, and he brings a lot. He brings a lot on, on the table. Brings a lot to the table. Not just goal scoring, but in terms of how he holds up the play, in terms of how he scores goals, his goal threats, because he has it all. He's got the pace, the running behind. He has the hold-up play. He can hold the ball in his chest, hold up defenders. He can match the physicality of the defenders. He has that. He can be an emotional leader for the team as well, which is lacking, which will lack a lot of the time. Chelsea Football Club lacks that emotional leader, on the pitch that can rally the troops when things are not going very well. Victor Osimhen is that. If you're a Nigerian, if you're a Napoli fan, you would attest to the fact that Victor Osimhen is an emotional leader on the pitch, and that's something Chelsea lacked. Actual leaders on the pitch. The coach, fantastic. You set your team up. You are the overall leader of the team, but when they go and get stuff on the pitch, you need that person that has been there, done it. You need that person that has that mature head on his shoulders to lead the team. And for me, I feel Jackson isn't quite there yet. I don't know if he will get that at some point in his career. Maybe he would because he's still very young, and I think 23. So he still has some years to, have that experience on the shoulder. But for me, if Chelsea was to, of course, win the Conference League, there's no saying that Chelsea has to win the Conference League. Have to at least win the FA Cup, finish in the top four as well, and then maybe compete for the Club World Cup. Someone like Victor Seaman should be considered like he should be the number one striker you want to get because you need that leadership on the pitch. And when I mention all this, people say, "Oh, you're not talking about numbers." He has got the numbers already. Because for Galatasaray, he scored. Let me make sure I get this right. I'll just have a quick check. Victor Seaman, how many goals has he scored so far for Galatasaray? So Victor Osimhen goals scored for Galatasaray. Victor Osimhen has scored so far 9 goals. In nine games, he scored 8 goals and 4 assists. So that's a 12 goal contributions in 9 games. That's a lot. That's a lot. And that's just, that's a lot. So you see, in addition, so all these qualities I mentioned in terms of his leadership, his, um, leadership skills, his strength, his power, and all that, those are additional to his actual, goal scoring, doing the job a forward has to do. So I think that's why he should be the one. But like I said, Viktor Gyokeres is not someone I'm going to sneeze at if Chelsea indeed decide to sign him. Because I think he's a quality striker, but I just think Victor Osimhen is, better than he is. So let's know some names. Who else do you think Chelsea can we go for? Who knows? Maybe Chelsea could even shock the world and go deep back into the waters and go back to Morojan. For me, Morojan is a proven to be a very good striker. He's proven to be a very good striker. He still misses many chances, but he's more of a typical number 9 than a Jackson. And I think his movement in the box is slightly better than Nicholas Jackson, in my opinion. So what do you think? Would you much rather just prefer Nicholas Jackson, stick with Nicholas Jackson till the end of the season, and then come the end of the season, you evaluate and decide the striker to go for? But for me, I feel the January window presents a unique opportunity. And sometimes people say January window is not the best time to sign strikers. It's not the best time to, you know, um, to get players. For me, I feel it's actually the best time because one, you have a free run at the player, so you could decide either to sign a player, uh, you know, permanently, or rather to sign the player and let the player play for you that season, or you sign the player and loan the player back to the club where he's playing at the minute, and then you have him sealed up, confirmed for you next season. And when next season comes around, he can then, join up. So those are my thoughts and opinions with the latest transfer news concerning Chelsea. We'll come to the end of this video very soon. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and support the channel, share the video, continue to grow. Very soon, we'll hit 400 subscribers, and that'll be a magical milestone. And like I said, once it gets to 500 subscribers, then the magic will begin. Then subscribers of the channel will begin to see the benefits I've been talking about. So, been talking about Chelsea's link to Viktor Gyokeres. What are your thoughts on it? Talking about Rayan Cherki as well, someone I wanted Chelsea to sign. I raised my hand up. I wanted just to sign him ahead of Cole Palmer about 2 windows ago. But Cole Palmer's come and proven that he's top player. But I feel he can be quality for Chelsea if he's indeed signed. But I still feel there's a challenge with the tactical setup of Enzo Maresca. So that might not really work, in my opinion. And then there's the Victor Osimhen thing as well. For me, I think Victor Osimhen is a better option to Viktor Gyokeres. If you had to sign. And I feel maybe Isak is slightly more suited to the way Chelsea plays than Gyokeres. But like I said, if Chelsea are unable to get Victor Osimhen, then fair dues. You go on and you get Gyokeres. Then that'll be fine with me. No no worries there. So very soon I'm coming to the end of the stream. Thanks for everyone who's joined so far. You know, I'm sure this is just a joke. Chelsea reportedly willing to offer 60 million euros for Brian Buemo. Nope, that's not happening. I know this is silly season and players get linked randomly to clubs, but Buemo, no. He's a nice decent player for Brentford. I think he's doing well for them, given that you have Ivan Tony joining the Saudi Pro League. But no, not having him. He's nice, he's okay, but no, not having him. So at this point, we come to the end of today's video, today's stream, and keep your eyes peeled on the channel. On Friday, we'll be having a preview to the Leicester versus Chelsea game. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. It will be coming on the channel. And then tomorrow, I think the Niger Football Show will be coming on as well. So keep your eyes peeled, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep going. So at this point, I'd like to say thanks to all those who joined this early stream. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for supporting, and I'll see you on yet another video. Do have a splendid rest of your day.